So now we're going to talk about tuning our ukuleles and about the 4 open strings that we have here on our instrument. Now, before we even get started, if your ukulele is missing a string, you can learn how to string it up yourself, but I would recommend going to your local music store and having them set it up for you. If you want to look up a tutorial on actually stringing this instrument, you can do that. If it's got the peg situation down here, which most ukuleles have, it's not that hard to do. You have to thread it up here, turn it a lot, hold it, and one little tip I'll give you is to make sure you don't put your face over the ukulele. You don't want to be tightening this and then have something break in your face. Keep it out in front of you or put it on a table or a counter and then string it up that way. But again, if it's not strung up already, especially if you're just starting out, go to your local music store, have them string it up for you, and then come back and get ready to play. So with these 4 strings, and I am going to repeat this a lot, the first string is the one that's closest to the floor. The second string is the one after that. The third string is up here. And the 4th string is actually the one that's closest to your face. So again, it's a little backwards kind of. 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string. So again, highest one down here, that's our 1st string. Now these 4 notes going from 1st to 4th string are A, E, C, and G. A lot of people sing this little melody. My dog has fleas. Do it with me. Ready, go. My dog has fleas. I don't really know why people use that, but it is a nice little way to memorize the sound of that G, C, E, A. My dog has fleas. And that's a good little tip for tuning your ukulele. The best thing you can do to keep your instrument in tune, and this is something that you absolutely want to do for lots of different reasons, is to get this kind of clip-on tuner. They're usually $10, $15, or $20. Get the ones that are good. Don't buy a cheap one. Get it. It's going to be worth it. You can use it on different instruments. It will come in handy all of the time. And what you do is you start to play your string while this is on, and it's going to tell you how close you are to that note. So this 4th string is a G. And then you're going to turn your tuning peg very gently, just slight turns, barely even moving it. You're not going to go whang and turn the whole thing. It's just a tiny, tiny press. So if you can see this, it's kind of hard to see, but it's telling me that I'm a little flat. So I'm going to push it this way, push it counterclockwise away from me to make it tighter. Let's try out the next string. I'm actually going to detune it intentionally. Here, getting lower. I'm moving it toward me. I'm moving it clockwise. And it's getting lower and lower and lower. Now I'm going to start turning it counterclockwise to make it higher. You tend to want to tune up to your notes. So that's definitely not a C. Tuning up, watching the tuner. Oh, boom, there it is. Now I've got a C because it's showing me C and it's right on the line there. We'll do the same thing for E. I'm gonna detune it a little bit. If you can see this, it's showing me E, but it's sort of lower than E. It's flat. We're gonna make it a little bit sharper. Boom, now I've got a proper E. Actually, I went a little too far. What's great about these tuners is if you are playing in a live setting or if other people are playing their instruments, if you've got the clip-on tuner, you can tune your instrument while other people are playing. That might not seem like a big deal, but trust me, when you're playing with a lot of other musicians, it's a really big deal. All right, moving on to the 1st string, the high A. I'm gonna detune it again. Now I've got something like a G sharp, the note before A. I'm gonna start turning it clockwise, gonna make it tighter. And my tuner is now telling me that I'm on the line, and bam, there is my A. So that's got me a nice in-tune ukulele. My dog has fleas. And you can tune your ukulele just like that. Finally, some ukuleles have a low G instead of this high G. That is pretty cool because it makes it a little bit more like the guitar, and it makes it so that you can hit some lower notes. I'm going to be playing with a high G in a more traditional style, but it is pretty fun to have a low G here. And if you ever run into one of those ukuleles, definitely check it out. So now that we are in tune, we are ready to start playing our ukulele, head on over to the next video and I will see you there. Let's talk very quickly about how you hold your ukulele. We'll talk a little bit about how you can hold your ukulele without a strap here in this video. So on the guitar, very often we use this bottom little groove to kind of put it on our knee, but that's really low for the ukulele, so it's kind of better to put it up like this, where it's sitting like that. You don't want to angle it straight up like this, but you don't want to angle it all the way down either. Think about a 45-degree angle and think about your shoulder and your arm and your wrist. This is really important to get the right technique here. You can see that my arm looks pretty relaxed, pretty natural. It's just hanging out there. The ukulele is at about a 45-degree angle, and this is pretty comfortable for me to play. So it's sitting like this. I'm going to take my right hand and put it over, and now I can kind of move it like this as well. So that way, depending on what I need to emphasize, left hand or right hand, I can kind of hold it with both hands here. Again, having a strap makes it a little bit easier, but if you need to kind of sit it like this, you can use your forearm to kind of hold it in place while you play. Now, if you wanted to stand up with your ukulele, you might have to pinch it with this arm like this. Again, a strap is a better way to go, but if you don't have a strap, you can pinch it with your arm like this. Your right hand is free to strum. We'll talk more about strumming in the next video, and your left hand can move around pretty easily as well. Finally, try to keep your posture upright and good. It will help your singing, it will make you look more professional, and it will also help you avoid back pains later down the road. So that's just a little bit more about how we hold our ukulele. Head on over to the next video and I will see you there. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ukulele Prodigies. Today we're going to learn 2 basic strumming techniques that you're going to use to start playing your ukulele, and we'll talk about some more advanced strumming techniques down the road a little bit. So unless you're playing a left-handed ukulele, we're going to be talking about our right hand doing the strumming. If you are a lefty, you might want to play a left-handed ukulele where the strings are different and you flip it around and you play it the other direction. But most of you out there, even if you are left-handed, will probably start out by playing it this way, where our right hand is doing the strumming and our left hand does most of the fretting. And today we are going to focus on strumming with the right hand. So the 2 ways we want to talk about strumming to start are with our thumb, which gives us a really nice warm tone. And we can also use the nail of our pointer finger. Let me kind of show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to play you a C chord. That's when we take our pointer finger and we put it on the 3rd fret of our highest string, the 1st string, and we just play all the strings together. So I'm going to do that with my thumb 4 times in a row. Follow with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Keep it going. It's a nice warm sound. We're using the thicker part of our thumb, the fleshy part of our thumb. And it's a very warm sound. That's why we like to use the thumb, because it does give us this nice warm tone. We're ready for faster strumming. We're going to need to use the tip of our pointer finger, the nail of our pointer finger, to play it just like that. I'm playing through the ukulele with my pointer finger. The nail is playing it on the way down, and on the way back up, I'm using the soft part of my finger, just like that. So let's try it a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just the pointer finger like that. Go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm playing that C chord, 3rd fret of my highest string. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now what's really important to notice is that my wrist is doing all the work. I'm just kind of turning my wrist, almost like if I was playing the drums and I was using my wrist. I wouldn't be moving my whole arm. I don't want to burn all this energy. I just want to turn my wrist in a nice and easy motion. That's going to give you the best sound and the easiest way to strum to start. So again, our thumb is really good at playing warm sounding chords. Our pointer finger is a little bit better for playing fast chords, and they sound a little bit tinnier. It kind of cuts through, so if you're playing with other instruments, using that pointer finger will help you cut through the mix a little bit if you're playing with a bassist or a drummer, but the thumb is better at picking out individual notes. It's also a little bit warmer than that pointer finger, and we'll use both of them back and forth in different situations. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ukulele Prodigies. Today we're going to be learning about the left hand, the fretting hand. We're going to be talking about some basic left hand technique, and we're going to learn a short little exercise that you can do to really warm up that left hand. So the very first thing you need to know about fretting your ukulele is where to put your fingers to play a note. So where do I put this pointer finger when I play? Well, this fret kind of has a little bit of room in it. If you can see, I can kind of move it up or down, and it's really all within the same fret. The answer is that you want to place it almost touching the next fret. So here is my first fret, second fret, third fret. This is where I'm going to find the note C, but I don't want to put my finger exactly on it. It's going to kind of mute it. It's going to kind of buzz. I want to take it there and then bring it back a little bit. People say halfway up the fret and then a little bit more. You can just say 2/3 up the fret. Basically right there, not back here. It's gonna buzz, you hear how it's buzzing. I'm too far back, and not all the way up either. It's a little muted, it's right in between, but it is also closer to the higher one. So 2/3 of the way up. That's where you want to be putting your left hand fingers, and you want to be using the fleshiest ball part of your finger to play that note. Now, another really important piece is where your thumb goes. And if you ever see my thumb kind of launching around all over the place, that isn't good. Don't do that. Where your thumb is supposed to be is on the back of the neck, pressing against it just like this. That way, when you pinch to find that note, or you pinch on that fret, you have a lot of strength. Think about how hard you can squeeze this right here. It's the same motion, there's just a piece of wood in between. So that's how you start to fret your first couple of notes. Take your pointer finger on that third fret, make sure you can play that note C or that full C chord. And then we will talk a little bit more in the next video about using our individual fingers on each of the individual frets. So head on over to that video and I will see you there. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ukulele Prodigies. In this lesson, we're gonna talk about the 4 different fingers that we're gonna be using to fret our ukulele, and I'm gonna show you how we can warm these fingers up a little bit. So, we're gonna take finger number 1, that is our pointer finger, and we're gonna place it on this note right here. For right now, it doesn't really matter what note it is. I just want you to press right there. Remember, our thumb is in the back and we're pinching. There we go. That's gonna be our first finger in the first fret. Now, if you lay all 4 fingers over, each finger is going to get its own fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's try that together nice and slow. You might feel like you want to just move this finger up, and that is kind of okay to start, but really the earlier that you can start to fret each individual fret or each individual note with the different fingers, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the faster you will progress through all of your ukulele and guitar playing. So let's try doing this together. We're gonna play 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that, even slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Using the fleshy ball of our fingers. So try that a couple more times if you didn't get it. And then we'll try going backwards with our pinky starting us off. 1, 2, nice and slow. Keep it going. Maybe you actually want to pause it right here and practice that. First up, then down. I say first up first because it is a little easier to start with your pointer finger. Sometimes starting a lick or a song on your pinky feels a little uncomfortable. You'll get more and more used to it. The more you can practice with your pinky in the beginning, the better it will help you advance faster. But once you've got that, then work on going back down and then try to put them together. If you're ready for it, let's actually try to put them together right now. We'll play it together nice and slow. 1, 2, going up first. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. You could do the same thing without repeating the high note 2 times. Let's try it together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. You might want to, again, pause it and practice that on your own. And here it is a little bit faster if you want to try to work up to this speed. Faster. Yeah, so keep practicing that. Remember, each finger gets its own fret. One other thing about your left hand, you can't really play with your fingers totally straight, but you can't play with them totally scrunched up either. So you want that thumb in the back. You want to approach it like a piano where the fingers are flat and reaching out to the notes, but then curve it up a little bit to make sure they're not bumping into other notes. So it's kind of straight, but it's also kind of curved. It's not super curled up or weird or tight on your hands, and it's not perfectly straight either. You want to lean toward making it a little bit straighter where your fingers are nice and flat against the ukulele, but you also don't want them to bump into other notes. They'll mute the strings, so you need to lift them up a little bit to get the right sound. I will see you in the next video for a little bit more information about how we use our left hand. Hey everyone, and welcome to a very important lesson here inside of Ukulele Prodigies. We've been playing the C chord in some of the previous exercises as we warmed up our right hand, but now we're going to look closer at the C chord. We're going to talk about chord diagrams. We're going to see a lot of these, so learning to read them is really important, and we'll talk about the exact notes that make up that C chord. So I've got a different ukulele here for a second, and I want you to look at it because it's got the color-coded stickers on it. We're not going to spend a ton of time with these, but if you do want to make your life a little bit easier, make it clearer where the notes are, you can color code your ukulele just like this, and I will have a little diagram for you so that you know exactly where to color code them. But I am going to use this anytime I show you how to play a chord or how to play a specific scale. That way you can see it with the colors at least a little bit. So let's talk about how this ukulele transfers to that chord diagram. You really need to understand how that chord diagram moves on over to this ukulele to learn to play lots of different chords. So if we look at that chord diagram, the first three strings don't have any notes that are fretted. That O on the top or that 0 on the top stands for the 0 fret or the O open string. So here we have a G, that's in our C chord. Here we have a C, that's also in our C chord, and here we have an E. Those three notes actually make up our C chord. Do, mi, and sol, C, E, and G, red, yellow, and teal. You can see them right up there in the top. Those make up our C chord. Now we want to turn this A, this open A, well, we want to add this string to our C chord so we can strum the whole ukulele, but we don't really need an A. That's not going to work in our C chord. We don't want this A sharp or this B, we want this C. So that's how you play your first C chord, and you want to use finger number 3 for that chord. If we look at our ukulele like this and we look over to that chord diagram, we have open, open, and open. These three notes are G, C, and E, which make up a C major chord. Our C major chord is C, E, and G, Do, Mi, and Sol. If you want more information about chords, definitely check out preschool or primary prodigies. But for now, keep in mind, Do, Mi, Sol, C, E, G, red, yellow, and teal. That is how we play our C major chord. And these three notes, as you can see, already play the open strings, G, C, and E. This string is an A that does not belong in a C major chord. To make this high A string play something that's in a C major chord, either C, E, or G, we can only really go up. We can't make this A any lower. So we can go A or we can go A sharp. That's not really what we want. We could do up to B. That's not really what we want either. But here is a C. Oh, that's in our chord. And that'll give us a nice little C chord. This is absolutely the first chord that you should learn. You should be playing it with your third finger, not your pointer finger like I was just doing. Third finger on that C. That way, if we have to move to other chords, these fingers are ready to go. If you have a hard time playing that note C with the third finger, you can use these two fingers to press back here. That will just alleviate a little bit of pressure, but it won't actually change the sound of the chord. You don't really want to do that too much. You want these fingers to be free for other notes, but as you're warming up your hand strength, if you need to do that, you certainly can. Also, in case it helps you out, here is a picture of what it looks like from your vantage point looking at your ukulele. If you look down, you should be seeing what is right there. So that's just another little perspective on that C chord, which will maybe help you out to visualize how this all goes together. So looking at this, and then looking over here, you can see open, 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 and 3. That's very important to wrap your head around how that translates to this. If you're not quite following, go back and watch this again. Keep on looking at it like this, upright, over to that chord diagram, and see if you can kind of make them match in your head. So that's just a little bit more about playing our very most basic C chord. In the next video, we'll learn a couple of variations on that C chord so you can see more about how the ukulele works and where we can find some of these other notes on our instrument. Head on over to the next video and I will see you there. Hey everyone! everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ukulele Prodigies. Today we're going to learn how to play the F chord. This is a very important chord on the ukulele, and it pretty much is the second chord that you'll want to learn. So, as a quick review, we already learned the C chord. We're going to take our third finger and put it right here. That gives us a C, and then our other strings are already open for the notes that we need. We have a G, a C, an E, and then this high C, and that is our C chord. Now, to play an F chord, we're going to need two fingers. We're going to take our middle finger and put it on the second fret of the fourth string. This is the string that is closest to your face. It is the fourth string, just like that. Can you play that one with me? Nice. Then we'll take our pointer finger and we're going to put it on the first fret of the second string. That's right here. Not all the way down, but almost there. So these are the two that you need to play the F chord. And if you've got that, try strumming it with your thumb, just like that. Here we've got the color-coded ukulele. You can check it out. The notes we're playing are this F right here and then this A over here. And if you look at our chord diagram, you should hopefully see how they work together. You can look at the chart. You can see on the fourth string, we don't have an O or an open anymore. Now we've got the second fret played. We're going to play that one with our middle finger. That's why it says 2 on it, not because it's the second fret, but actually because it's finger number 2. So the circle tells us, oh, it's the second fret, but the number inside of that circle actually tells us, oh, that's actually, we're gonna be playing with the second finger. Those numbers have to do with the fingers, not necessarily the frets. So second finger is playing this A, and then our first finger is going to play this F right here. So we've got this A, we've got an open C, we've got an F right here, and then we've got another A up at the top, which gives us the notes F, A, and C, and that is how we spell our F major chord. So let's play our F major chord 8 times together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Hey, nice job with that. Let's do it one more time just to make sure you've got it. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, nice job with that. So the next thing we want to do is see if we can switch from our C chord over to our F chord. We're going to play our C chord using our ring finger, and then we're going to switch over to the F chord using our middle and our pointer. So it's kind of an easy switch to make because you don't have to worry about moving the exact same fingers that you are using. So here is our C chord. Let's play it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll switch. Make sure you've got it. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's switch back. Make sure you've got it. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll switch back one more time, nice and slow. See if you've got it. Got your F. 1, 2, ready, F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, nice job with that. So you saw that when I switched chords from C over to F, there was a pretty big pause in between the chords. And that's a pretty natural thing to have happen when you first start playing your instrument. Most of what you're going to be practicing when you're practicing chords is not the chord itself, it's actually switching from one chord to the next. So you'll eventually find that it's easy to switch back to C because you know exactly what C is. And eventually it's easier to switch over to F from C because you've done it 1,000 times. But making all those little connections takes a lot of practice. And as you're working through your first couple of songs, you will inevitably have to pause in between those chords. If you weren't pausing, it would sound a little bit more fluid. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No pause, just a nice quick switch from one chord to the next right after that fourth strum. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 2, 3, 4, switch. And just like that. It will take you a little while to work up to that, so sit down with that C and that F chord and try putting them together just like that before you head on over to the next video. welcome to another episode of Ukulele Prodigies. Today we're going to learn how to play the G major chord and two small variations on that chord as well. So let's look at our chord diagram for the G. We'll start with the leftmost string. That's the one that's closest to your face, the fourth string. And that is an open G. So we don't have to fret that one. That's why it's got the 0 or the O, 0 for 0 fret or O for open. That's going to be our note G right at the beginning of our G chord. All right, our next string is a C, but there's no C in a G chord. So we're going to move that C up here to get a D. Yeah, so we're going to use our pointer finger to play that one right there. All right, then we're going to use our ring finger to play this one right here. This is the E string, E, but there's no E in a G chord. This is the note F, F sharp, the note G. And of course there is a G in a G chord. So we'll play this guy and this guy. Those are our first three strings working from left to right. And then the first string, the lowest string, or our final string if we're going from left to right. This one is an A. There's not an A in a G chord, so we'll move it from A up to A sharp up to B. There is a B in a G chord, G, B, and D. So it's going to look like this. Open, then fret number 2, then fret number 3, and then fret number 2 again. Or from the first string going this way, fret 2, fret 3, fret 2, and open. This is a really important one to wrap your head around. Try playing it a couple times like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure your notes aren't buzzing. Make sure your fingers are in the right place. About 2/3 of the way up the fret. Pretty close to touching the next fret, but not quite touching it yet. That's gonna give you the best sound. Can you strum that G chord? Yeah, so that is our G chord. Also real quick, that G chord, if you want to look at it from my point of view or from your point of view, it's gonna look like that. Now you're gonna wanna practice going from C over to that G chord. That's one of our most popular chord changes, C to G. So really practice that one. C, then switch to G. If you need to pause here, make sure you've got it right. Then play G, but really work on that skill of switching from C over to G.